to Trained Well. I'm your host, George Elossais, and today's guest is a powerhouse in the world of insurance marketing. From mowing lawns at 18 to becoming the go-to person for insurance agents across the country for marketing. DJ Carroll, aka known as Coach Carroll, is here to talk hustle, branding, and what it takes to dominate in your market in today's digital world. He's the founder of Carroll Media, a speaker, and author of an upcoming book, The Hunter Head Game. If you're an agent looking to get noticed, get more leads, and get ahead, this is the episode for you. Coach, welcome to the show. Thanks for being here.
Hell of an intro, brother. Appreciate it, man. Excited to be here and hanging out and pouring into your audience for a little bit here.
Of course. Well, I always start with this simple question, which is, you were born, now you're here. What happened in between? What's your story?
Yeah, pretty fun path, man. As the years continue to tick by, my parents divorced when I was 15. Moved to Kentucky with my mom. Played sports all through high school. Had 8 football scholarship offers my senior year of high school. Was quite frankly on the path to go be a chemical engineer somewhere and make a steady salary with benefits and live that life. And I started mowing grass my senior year of high school, man. Started with $300, $100 borrowed from my mom, $100 given to me by my grandma, and $100 I had saved up from stocking cooler shelves and bussing tables and delivering pizzas. All that money went in to buy a Walmart push mower and the ugliest shit brown 89 F-150 in Kentucky, and an entrepreneur was born. So after I got a little bit of taste of that, I didn't grow up with a silver spoon up my butt. My dad never made more than $20 an hour in his life. And like I said, my mom raised me and my brother. Once they split up, things got even tighter. And once I started putting a little coin in my pocket, George, I was like, I don't want to go to college and be broke again. And so I ended up turning down those football scholarships to the disbelief of many. And quite frankly, for years, I thought that I was letting people down, a lot of people down. But I learned a valuable lesson is that you've got to believe in yourself when nobody else does. And here we are. That was 2007, so almost 20 years later. And, I've got Carroll Media, which is our advertising technology company. We have just launched our platform, Alley, which is our AI platform. That thing's doing millions of dollars, and I've still got my blue collar businesses. I've got real estate, Section 8 housing, and then the new book that just came out, The Hunter Head Game. And so, but out of all of that, man, but what I'm most proud of, dude, is the farm that we live on now, my beautiful wife and my 2 healthy children. That has put a sense of purpose in me in the last 30 months that nothing in business or of this world has been able to touch. So it's, for me, man, it's continuing to climb. Every time you get to the top of a mountain, you see the peak of a new mountain, take a little break, then traverse back down into the valleys and onward and upward from there. So yeah, man, that's the story of Coach Carroll. We're just getting started, dude. 20 years in, I want to help, millions of entrepreneurs all across the globe, and we're already doing that. And I want to continue to do that for as many days as God gives me.
For sure. Well, I'm going to steal that mountain analogy. I've never heard it, but it makes a lot of sense. So I'll be using that. Probably we'll see it on a future podcast, but
have at it. Tag me.
I wasn't initially going to go this route, but sort of with your, let's say, humble beginnings, and I would say, kind of similar situation for me. Why did you want to just chart your own path and even start a business as early as 18? I know my reasons, and maybe I'll say why, but what did it mean for you, and why'd you do it?
Yeah, man. Like I said, dude, I didn't want to be broke. There's a story I talk about in the book where, I don't know, I was probably in 5th grade. I came home and my buddies down the block, while we were living in Indianapolis, they were getting WrestleMania. And, like every kid that's in 5th grade, like you love WWE. The Rock was like at his prime. And I came home and I told Dad, I was like, Dad, we got to get WrestleMania. And he's like, buddy, we can't afford that. Like back then, like a pay-per-view was like $20, man. And like, I remember saying, I hate being poor. And my dad was like, oh, you think we're poor? Let me show you what poor really is. Because you got to realize, man, I recently found a newspaper clipping from my dad's childhood. It said, "Woman jailed, 11 children taken to shelter, most without shoes." That's where my dad came from. He
Oh my
knew what
God.
war was. And so I got grounded for 2 weeks, George. No snacks after school, no video games, no TV, no computer. And that taught me a very humble lesson, but it also buried a fire deep in my gut that said, "Hey man, when I grow up, I don't want to like have to tell my kids we can't afford WrestleMania, right? I don't want to
Right,
live that life." And so there's one of those old sayings. I always love it. It's like the past runs through your family, and then it ran into me. It's and so for me, it's like I was going to be the change agent. I wanted to be somebody that was going to set a new chart a new course, and set a new course for us as a family. I've just always carried that with me ever since 18. And then I think honestly, dude, there's a little bit of like a rebel inside of me. And so when that guidance counselor and that chemistry teacher was like, "DJ, what are you doing? You can't just like go mow grass for the rest of your life." I was like, "What? Like you're doubting me now?" Like this went from like, not only are you not supporting me, but now you're doubting me. And so like that put a chip on my shoulder, man. And I honestly, I think those things, those life defining moments that everybody goes through, it's it's what you do with those moments that will
right.
ultimately determine what your destiny is. Some people take those and they make them excuses and they become a victim for the rest of their life. Some people put a chip on their shoulder and they say, "You know what? I'm going to go win, even though everybody expects me not to."
For sure. Well, and like I'm guessing along the way, and maybe you'll share this, like, when I was charting my own path, I think about all of the businesses I attempted doing, all of my ideas that I attempted doing that people told me not to do it, and then it didn't work out, and then they were like, "See?" And then I still had to, like, keep going because I wasn't gonna, like, lose that. Was it just you started mowing lawns, you had some coin, and just all up from there, or has there been something that didn't
Hell no,
something that
man. And I
didn't
always,
quite work?
yeah, I always tell people, I'm like, if you're going to learn from somebody, you better make sure you check their references, and their references are their failures. And if somebody's never had any
Sure,
failures, I don't want to learn from them. Yeah, man. I mean, you name it. It could have been an ecom brand that I tried to launch like in 2000. Gosh, what was that? 2010, 2011, like before the internet. Buying stuff online was good. And again, it's like most things in life. If I would have stuck with it for 15 years, probably would have been fine, right?
sure.
Oftentimes in business, what I find, working with thousands of entrepreneurs, is that most people don't get beat, they give up. And there's a
Yep.
difference, right? Like they quit. And so there are very few things in business that will literally like take you out. Now, I've had a couple of them, right? Like I had a real estate agent. I write about this in the book. Had a real estate agent that screwed me over. I ended up losing a fitness center that I'd grown 300% in 18 months. So I lost a six-figure business and a $500,000 worth of real estate at the age of 27. That was brutal. I can still remember being fetal position on the couch crying to my wife, saying, maybe this ain't for me. Uh, but I think that having losses, again, it goes back to that. It's defining moments, man.
Right.
Everyone will have defining moments in their life. No one Life is too serious to not for that not to happen. Bad things are going to happen to you. Good things are going to happen to you. And I just like to like categorize those as defining moments. And it's what you do with those defining moments that will set the pace. And I also have I don't want to miss making this point is that you also have to understand that there are consequences, sometimes severe, drastic consequences for the decisions that you make in your life, right? Like one of my best friends from high school was drinking one night and hit a guy that was walking down the side of the road, and he did years and years and years in prison for manslaughter. Like your actions, your decisions, they all have consequences. And so I think it's a balance, man. Life is just a fun balance of taking defining moments, hoping you make the right decisions, understanding that doors do shut because of decisions that you make. But
For sure.
ultimately, man, believing in yourself when nobody else does and never giving up. That's like the recipe. If you'll just George, if you'll just show up and have a positive mental attitude, you'll beat 95% of the fucking people out there, man.
Right. Well, I always go back to there's winners and then there's quitters, you know? And, now, unfortunately, but also fortunately, the barrier to win is pretty low. Show It's not even about showing up early anymore, it's about showing up on time. It's not about, overpromise, overdeliver, it's just keep your promise, and that'll now you should strive for those things, but am I wrong? Or
No,
is
dude,
that kind of the
you're 100% right. And that's I mean, that's why I wrote the Hunter Head game is because, it's been 10 years in the making, but I really think, dude, that it was like, we've gotten soft. Okay, let's just call it what it
Yeah,
is.
yep,
Saber-tooth tigers don't come into the village and drag children away anymore.
yep,
Your dinner is at the push of a button on an app called Uber Eats.
yep,
Lyft can pick you up and take you wherever you need to go. You don't need to worry about transportation. Like who would have ever imagined, like, if I got 27 bucks, I don't need a car. I can get just as far as I could with a car. Like what? I think we've gotten soft. And so, yes, I do think it's disproportionately easier to win. I also think that we are changing as a species. And this is something that, like, I've really been thinking about lately is with the power of AI, I think we are going to become more multiple disciplinary species, meaning that we will do multiple things, right? There's long been this thought and this belief that, well, be a doctor and only a doctor, be a lawyer and only a lawyer, be an
yep,
insurance owner and only an insurance owner. And I think with AI, man, the lift power that's gonna come with it is gonna make it easier that you can, like, you know, fish once a week. But if you're going to fish, you got to make content and put it on your YouTube channel and sell baits and lures. And, like, that's fine. You don't have to work on Wednesdays. You can go fishing and just do that thing. And then on Thursday, like, you can just do your garden and, like, make content around it, or have a private label product that you sell, right? Like, it's just the ability to make money, man. It's so crazy that it's like the ability to make money has just exponentially blown up. The ways that you can make money, and the people that want to go do that and chase it, I think have dropped drastically.
yep,
But I'm confident that they're in a valley that, as we get less boomers and we get
yep.
more millennials, more Gen Zers, you're going to see the mix and the makeup of the country and how people make their money. It's going to change, man. Um, but I think for me, I love human beings. I love entrepreneurship. I think that everyone should try it. I'm kind of contrarian in that thought. I understand. I know, before people hop in the comments, like, DJ, not everybody's meant to be an entrepreneur. I know, dude. I know. I got it. Okay. Um, Also, the person that's making that comment has probably still not tried, so, like, you can go sit down. And I want to talk to the person that's been on the edge of the fire and going, man, I really, really want to go try this thing. Do it. Jump. It's not as bad as you think, and the worst case scenario isn't the worst case scenario, right? Like, you can always go back to your job, I promise, or you can
Right.
find another version of it. Okay,
Yep.
like, people need to put the chips on the table and bet on themselves, because life is serious, man. None of us make it out alive.
Well, and most people regret not doing something than actually doing something.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
And odds are if you try something, you try entrepreneurship, it doesn't work out, you'll have a new appreciation for your job, whatever
Yeah,
job you go back to.
I also think there is magic in the madness, meaning that if you go jump off the cliff, who you become might be more important than the money that you'll make, right? Like, once you do bet on yourself, you're a different person, dude. You can't go back from that. Like, even if you do go back and get a job, right? You'll just carry yourself different. How's that look? That goes, okay, in my performance evaluations, now I'm going to ask for a raise. Like, dude,
Sure,
I've had hundreds of people work for me over the years. Do you know how many people actually ask for a raise? Very, very few.
for
And it's
sure.
because they don't believe in themselves. They don't believe they're worth it. They don't believe they deserve more. And so, like, maybe somebody needs to go try entrepreneurship, because nothing else, dude. They'll go 3 years crash and burn, like most of the statistics say, but now they'll be
Yep.
a different person when they come back to the workforce. You just never know, man. Life's all about what you make of it.
So what do you think about this hot take? This is my take
Okay,
because I want to make as much money as possible. I have
let's
big
go. Me too.
goals, right? I say I'm a billy goat hunter, which means I want to be a billionaire, okay? Some
I
people
like it.
hear that and go, and you might be a billy goat hunter. I kind of from the chuckle. Some people hear that and go, I only want to make a certain amount of money because for whatever reason, when you make more money, you almost turn bad. right? But my take is the more money you make, the more you become who you really are.
I like that. It's kind of Gary Vee's take on social media, right? Where it's like, oh, people started being a certain. It's like, no, you just put cameras on everybody's face and like you seen who
Right.
people really were.
Sure.
Um, so let's. I want to unpack this because this is interesting. I had a call with one of my mentors a few months ago, and I was asking him like, why'd you pick the number that you picked? Like he has hit escape velocity, right? I
Yep.
did a really cool podcast with an F-18 pilot. And he talks about there's three levels of wealth. There's the first one, which is like, okay, I can pay my bills and like I've got some savings, right? There's another level that you hit where it's like, okay, I pay my bills and I have hundreds of thousands of dollars stashed back, right? Like I'm good for a minute. If everything went to shit, I can make it 12 months, 18 months. I'm good. And then there's escape velocity, which means that you have created some sort of a nest egg. Typically comes from an exit of a company or a rich uncle dying. I'm not fortunate enough to have one of those. I don't know, George, maybe you do, but
Neither do I. Neither do I.
yeah.
So,
So you'll have this nest egg event where if you get a large chunk of money and you invest it wisely, then you have mailbox money for the rest of your life, and like you become a trust fund family at that point, right? My new goal, in fifth grade, my goal was to make $100,000 a year, live in a
yep.
$250,000 house, and drive a Porsche Cayman S. Okay, now I want to be a trust fund farmer, right? Like I want to dig
Yep.
around on my farm. I want to read all winter, and I want people to be like, "Does he work?" Right? Like that's the new goal for me.
Yep.
I don't know that I need a Billy for that, honestly, George. Do I think I'll probably end up there? Yeah. Because what I've found in life is when I stop trying to push for something so hard, then like the puzzle pieces fall in place, and I'm like, oh, didn't even see that happening over here. That's cool. I think it'll probably happen just because I know that I'll do a lot of good with it, like you mentioned. Um, but I was talking to this mentor, and I was like, "How'd you get your number?" And he's like, "Dude, 30 million to 100 million, nothing really changes." Like, if you can go grab 10 to 30, like it's life-changing money for you and your family. And I don't think people talk about that. Like you see the 26-year-old kid with the Lambo living in Brickell in Miami. It's like, you know, yeah, bro, like 400 grand a year is nothing. 500 grand a year is nothing. It's like, get the fuck out of here. Like, are you serious? You like, do you have a very expensive drug habit, or like do you have children you're not telling anybody about? Like that's a lot of money, man. If you don't live childishly, I'll put it that way. And so for me, I've like said, probably 25 to 30 is like my escape velocity, and then who knows what I'll do from there, right? Because then that's where you get the freedom to actually get into stuff like when you're not purely money motivated.
Yep.
You have different ambitions. Your purpose will change a bit, I believe, once you hit escape velocity. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know that I would call myself a Billy Goat Hunter. I do like that fucking term. I feel like that's a T-shirt. That should definitely be like that should have hustle. It's worth it underneath of it. Maybe I'll make a special edition, George, just for you. It'll be a hustle. It's worth it. And it'll just have like a Billy Goat, and he'll be eating $100
There.
bills as grass, right?
There you go.
I
I
like
like
that,
that. I like
man.
that
A
addition. So,
Billy Goat Hunter. So I don't know. Hey, who? Listen, God put the message in your heart, not mine, right? Like you want to go chase down a Billy, bro. I'm going to be all for you. I'm a motivational trainer. Like, let's go get it. I'll be glad to say, hey, I was on that dude's podcast. I remember when. So yeah, man, if it's in your heart, chase it, dude. That's what I say.
I like it. I like it. Well, let's do this. Like I said, not one of the. I did not expect to even take that route, right? I didn't have one of those questions written down.
That's my best
So,
content, man.
so now I want to take things in sort of a different direction, and I think this really goes towards something that it definitely kind of shows sort of like your rebel, like your inner rebel mentality and believing in yourself. But when it comes to marketing, any business, right? A lot of business owners, even I'm in the training space. A lot of insurance agents I work with, sometimes they'll start with, "Well, my business is different." You ever heard that?
Oh yeah.
"Well, my business is different," and it sounds like the way you got in to working with insurance agents is someone said to you one time that won't work for my business. Insurance is different.
Yeah, it all got started doing the marketing was with Mark Smith, my mentor. He was my State Farm agent, and back in 2016, in a little diner, I said, "Hey, Mark, I've been running Facebook ads for my power washing business, and I'm fucking crushing it, dude. Like, this is great. I think social media is going to be a big deal. You should probably be on it." And he's like, I don't know, DJ. Isn't that social media stuff for young kids? Funny enough, I just had lunch with him yesterday. So always enjoy catching back up with him. And he told me, he's like, I remember you saying, Mark, you got to do this. And him going, I think it's for the young kids. I think social media is for young kids. I don't know that I need to be there as an insurance agent. And in this diner, I said, Mark, look around. How many people with gray hair are on their phones right now? And it was like almost all of them. Like grandma and grandpa are like
Yep.
the fastest growing audience on Facebook. And so for me, that's where it got started. And then Mark just told me, he was like, hey, man, if you're going to go do this for other insurance agents, other State Farm agents, other Allstate agents, other farmers agents, then don't ask them to pay you and do more work. And so I was like, okay. And what I didn't know, like before the fancy terms of like DIY, done with you, done for you, he was saying, go all in, done for you. And so I'm like, all right, well, that kind of sounds like a marketing agency. And so that's where Carroll Media came from. We were a marketing agency with one customer, and it took us 6 months to get our second customer. But that dude happened
Wow.
to be Justin Cook up in Illinois, who is just a killer agent. And he put me on, man. He let me speak at his study group, and that kind of started the whole thing. From there, it's just snowballed. And now I've spoken at some of the largest industry events. I still love doing study groups and workshops, and we'll be going on book tour next spring. And so it's like, for me, I think people have understood it now, George. Like it's 10 years later, right? Like I actually
Yep.
had an agent, funny enough. I had an agent call me about March of this year. He was with me back in 2018. Okay. And he ran for like 6 months. He's like, I'm going to try something else. I'm like, all right, that's fine, man. He comes back. He's like, DJ, you got to get me going on social, man. I'm like, all right, what happened? He's like, I was at this conference and like all these influencers. Do you know how much time people are spending on their phones every day? It's like 6 hours a day. I'm like, yep, that's one of the slides of my presentation. Dude, we got to get going. So now he's like, now he's spending thousands of dollars a month on social. And like we've got him to the point where like he's getting a quote start on his State Farm website almost every single day now, because it does take time. Building brand on social is
Right.
not a like I always say it's a green juice method, not a cocaine method, right? Where it's a long game. It takes a while to
Yep.
make it work,
Yep.
but internet leads is the cocaine method. I got a Tyrone Bigham's image in one of my slides that I put where it's like, y'all got any of them leads around here? Because it's like, a lot of these agents, man, they're lead junkies, and that's where that
Yep.
like you don't understand my business, DJ. I'm different. I'm in a small town. I'm in a big town. I'm up north. I'm down south. I have a big team. I have no team. Like, I get it, dude. It doesn't matter. You're not special enough to change the fundamental principles of business. Okay. And here they are. Number one, if I don't know you, I can't give you my fucking money. Okay.
Right.
Number two, nothing fixes bad business operations. I can give you a gazillion phone calls. If you don't answer your
Right.
phone, you're going to think those gazillion phone calls are worthless, right? And then the
Yep.
third is money management. Like I literally had a guy cancel one time, and he's like, "Hey man, I can't keep affording to pay $400 a month on Facebook." I'm like, "Cool, man. Tough times happen. It's cool." And then 3 weeks later, I see him posting about his new pontoon boat he just bought. I'm like, "What are you doing?" Right? It's like, so like those to me are the three things, man, that I think a lot of business owners, not just insurance agents, but business owners in general, that's where they screw up. And there's nothing I can do to fix that for them, right? You have to make sure that you're tracking on those three.
Well, it's kind of like I think this is more of like a hypothetical story or more of like an analogy story for marketers, but it's like, there was this son that comes home from college, right? And he was getting a business degree in college and he was almost done with it. And he was helping his dad with his store that's kind of like off of like a major highway, but it's like 2 miles off the highway. And they were looking at their expenses and they really had to find like $2,500 of savings. So what they did was the easiest thing that they could cut was they could cut their billboard, which was about $2,500 a month. That thing that was on the highway on the interstate. They're like that would save us $2,500, and then we'll be good. We'll be cash flow positive. And then the business didn't make it because nobody knew to go 2 miles off the interstate off that random exit.
I love that, dude. I'm definitely going to borrow that. Because you're right. Right. It's like Henry Ford was quoted to say he would rather turn the lights off in the factory and let the team work in the dark than he would stop advertising. Because it's like if people
I
don't
like
know
that.
you,
Yeah.
like they can't buy from you.
Right.
And then it's like the business operation piece, right? It's like yeah, that these leads are bad. I'm like, cool. How fast did you call them back? Oh, that one came in on Monday. We called it. We got around to it on Wednesday. I'm like, Wednesday, dude, you got to call them back like within 5 minutes of the lead coming in. Oh no, DJ, we can't. It's like, well, okay, well then you're gonna get beat by the dude that does. Like, I don't, what
Right.
else do you want?
Right.
Like, that's why I mean when I say like we've gotten soft. George is like,
Yep.
it is very much this like, well, like this is just, it's like, no, you have to do what it takes to win if you want to win. Like but that's where people get misaligned. They get misaligned
Right.
in like what they say they want and what they're willing to do to get what they want. And I see that
Right.
all the time.
Right. I'd rather be a warrior in a garden than a gardener in a war. So,
Got it, dude.
right, we have a lot of gardeners in gardens, and
Yeah,
then one bad crop takes them out. So,
that's it, man. Got to be a hunter.
gotta be a hunter, right? Yeah, yeah, don't yeah, not a gatherer, right? That's not why we're here. So, well, and with that, right, with your social and building that up, it seems to me because 'cause I'm in the AI space as well, and, I'm always trying to pay attention not only for, you know, my consulting clients, but also, like, for our agency is SEO is important, right? But now it's starting to be how you appear in AI searches, right? Like the ChatGPTs searching for because now people are starting to use ChatGPT to find things. They're using
Yeah.
Gemini to find things. They're using
So
Claude to find things.
GEO and AEO, the two new
Right.
terms, generative engine optimization and AI engine optimization. Yeah, absolutely. Here's the
So
problem,
what are
man. If you have because I think I know where you're going. He's like, hey, well, what's like? Here's my thing. I have been hated for many many years because I think that. Correct me if you're wrong. Mostly all state and farmers and state farm agents listening to you. Is it all like what's your audience makeup
I
demographic?
would
Would you say
mostly captive
mostly
agents.
captive
Yep.
agents? Okay, here's the problem.
Yep.
If you are a captive agent and you are using your captive agency corporate provided website and you are spending money on SEO, you are wasting your cash. You'd be better off
Really.
going and taking your team to dinner. Yes, because here's why. You guys can't do anything for on-page SEO. You can't change the site. And now your sales leader, your district manager might say, well, go on there and update that it's fall and blah, blah, blah. That's just updating the text on your main page. That's not enough to beat out the independent guy or the captive that has their own standalone brand and standalone website. You're not going to outrank them. And then you know who you're sure as hell not going to outrank? Progressive.com, allstate.com, statefarm.com. Like you guys are paying money to an agency that one, you don't really even know what they're doing. And then you don't know what they're doing. That's the first problem. But then the second problem is like they can't optimize anything on page. Like they can maybe go sync your directories or do some backlinking, but what's the battle we're trying to win? We're trying to rank organically higher up, right? Like,
Yep.
good luck, dude. 2007 called. They want their web strategy back. You missed the ship. And so, like now, the best thing you can do is to build your brand. And if you're not allowed to have your own brand, right? Like Andrew Feeler has a Peachy Insurance in Georgia. If you can't have that and you've got to brand yourself, then brand yourself, brand your name, so that people know who you are. Because when they need insurance and they go looking, what are they searching for? Are they searching auto insurance in Louisville, Kentucky, or are they searching Coach Carroll State Farm agent? Right? Like that's the difference, man, because those branded searches, dude, they close 7 times more, like a 7x
Wow.
closing rate on branded social media pushed searches over like an internet lead or just a lead that you would find organically, right? To me, man, like I don't think if I was in the insurance space, meaning like if I owned an agency, I wouldn't need any more proof to build an online brand than that. But SEO, yeah. Do I think you're going to ask ChatGPT? Are you going to ask Siri? I need insurance. Sure. But I would much rather, even more of a reason to build on the brand that like you want to be the insurance person in your local market that everybody knows. Right. Like I know George is the dude, right? And so Andrew was even talking about this on the last podcast I was on. It's like he was saying he's getting super bullish on local media because I've been saying that for
Right.
years. It's like, you're not that special. I'm not going to drive past a dozen other Allstate offices to get to your Allstate office, right? Like, you have to sell the people that are in your local market in your own backyard. I just think the industry has gotten really, really fat and sassy off of internet leads and selling
Sure.
statewide or multi-state where you can just do outbound and people, yeah, guess what? You're just a number at that point. You're not, and that's why your lapse cancellation rate or your churn rate is 30+% a year. If we're gonna call us like somebody's gonna brag to me about how much money they make a year off of internet leads, I'm like, yeah, what's your lapse can rate? Because like if you're just having to backfill a third of your book of business every single year, like good luck, bro. You're a hamster on a wheel. Only person getting rich at that point is a lead vendor.
Right. Right. Yeah. And the only way they can do it is they're selling the same lead to multiple people too. So otherwise, they couldn't charge, possibly charge what they were charging. Which
Yes.
brings me to a point that, a lot of your insurance agents may be asking you, or it might be stopping people from going with you. It's that, you kind of have to, when you're spending money on ads, right? You're dealing with some unknown, you're dealing with tests, you got to run some tests, see what's going on. And even cost per lead, even though close ratio always seems to be way higher, cost per lead and not being able to credit, well, even though we might be thinking a little small, in my opinion, that kind of stops people from taking that route, whether it's Google, Facebook, you name it.
That
How do you handle those skeptics?
Yeah, so I would say draw your marketing funnel out, draw your sales funnel out, and show me the conversion metrics. Like, how many overall impressions did you get? Like, that's the very, very top. How many eyeballs saw your brand? Like, and we're
Mm.
and include everything. If your team made 1,000 outbound dials, that's 1,000 caller IDs you got shows up. Cool. Include that 1,000 impressions too, right? Like all of the impressions. Cool. Where'd the lion's share come from? Got it. Next move, website traffic, phone calls. Okay. Where did it come from? How many did we have? What percentages in each bucket? Great. Now we're going down. Like, because just because you get a phone call or an internet lead doesn't mean they qualified, right? So now I need qualified leads out of that. Okay, cool. Now, how many did we? It's like that's your marketing funnel, right? Total impressions, website traffic or phone calls, qualified leads, right? And then out of that, we move into our sales funnel. Out of the qualified lead, how many did we actually slide paper across the table to? Because, like, business owners are like, well, we got 37 leads last month, 37 gazillion leads. It doesn't matter. How many of them did you actually quote? Right? Like, how many did you actually slide paper across the table to? And I'm doing air quotes if you're listening on the audio
Yep.
version. Like, it's like nobody slides paper anymore, but it's like, how many people actually saw something that they could say yes to? Cool. How many did we quote? And then what was our close rate on that? Right. And then inside of there, I'm like, where's all the follow up? How many times did we call all the leads to try to the phone calls that we missed in the internet website traffic? Like, did we have mechanisms like Alley, my AI platform, that can identify anonymous website visitors? Like, let them into the pipeline, right? Dude, we 3x leads at a Chevy dealership just by installing that, right? Because it's the big picture, and I just don't think either the business owners have the capacity to sit down and do that through strategic planning meetings or offsites, whatever you want to call it. Drink a bourbon and get a piece of notepad out, right? Like notebook paper, and do it if you need to. They don't know how, like they don't have the capacity, meaning they don't have the time to do it. They don't have the know-how, meaning like somebody just listened to that and they're like, holy shit, I've never heard about a marketing funnel and a sales funnel being explained that way. Or the third piece is like, they're just lazy. Like, I mean, let's just call it what it is, dude. Like, you want to be all about tracking ROI until you actually have to track ROI, and then you're just lazy because you don't want to do it.
Sure.
And I think that's where a large portion of them fall in. And now, listen, if you're listening to this right now and I just pissed you off, I'm sorry. I'm not here to hurt your feelings. I'm here to try to wake you up so that you can be a better business owner, so that you can make more money. Like, you think I just came on here to hang out with George, like, no offense, George, but like, we're here to help somebody that's listening to this fucking thing right now. And so if that's you, say like, cool, there's my wake up call. Let me take some time and actually go track my numbers. I talked to an agent last week, dude. She's been in business 16 years in Texas, and she admitted to me, it's like, DJ, for the last 3 years, man, it's kind of been coasting. I kind of been checked out, and that's okay. 16 years is a long fucking time, right? Like, you're
Right.
allowed to take 3 off to recoup if that's what your mental health need. But there also comes a season for locking in and running your business like the badass that I know that you are, that you're listening right now.
Well, and it seems like part of it. And when I say this, I'm an insurance agent too, but it seems like you spend a lot of your time modernizing small businesses, modernizing insurance agencies. How has the whole world just evolved and then didn't hit no, the technology didn't hit insurance? What do you think happened there?
Well, oh, it did. Compliance either kept it out, so you think
Sure.
that it didn't, right? Or you just got blinders on. You don't know what you don't know, right? It's like one of my favorite things about business is like you don't know what you don't know. That's why I love doing Q&A when I go on stage. Because if I do Q&A and George asked me a question and Sally didn't even know to ask that question, then her mind's about to really get fucking blown because she just got the question and the answer, right? Like it's this group learning Q&A I think is like one of the most powerful things to do. And guess what you don't do in school? Q&A, right? It's like I'm going to teach you out of this book, you're going to learn what I say, and that's it. It's like let's have more discussion. Anyway, save that for another podcast, George. I think now look, you got me off on a tangent. Ask me the question again. Got me over here. I'm thinking about schooling now. We got to go save everybody. I got it. You said modernizing the offices
First part was
in the industry.
first part was, you're spending your time modernizing and what are you doing? And then the second part is why did modernizing not really hit insurance?
Yeah,
So
it did hit insurance. We covered that. Listen, this is why I spend so much time doing it. My mission in Carroll Media, right? Because I have my Coach Carroll mission, which is to weaponize the next generation of business leaders and their teams, and that's with tech, tools, and training. Carroll
big
Media's
goal.
mission
Awesome.
is to save 10,000 SMBs from going extinct. Okay. Because let me give you some mind boggling stats. Okay. It took Netscape or the internet, right? It took them 8 years to reach 700 million users. It took social media only 4 years. It's taken ChatGPT 2 years. Okay. So the technology, the internet, because I write about this in the book, there's been 3 technological waves. I call this my access, attention, AI framework. The access was the internet. Okay. That was the first wave that came. And everybody's like, what's this? The internet? You've got mail, right? Like people are like, what is this? It took a long time to adopt. The most mind-boggling thing to me, dude, is like if I sent you a CD-ROM right now, George, and I'm like, hey, bro, there's some software on here. It's free. Put it on your computer. Like you're like, hell no, it's got a virus on it, right? But like for whatever reasons, we
We didn't
thought,
have anywhere to put it. So
yeah, no problem, right? So the first one was access. That was the internet, and we democratized access to knowledge, and that was like the first like awakening. All right. The second one was attention, which is social media, and for the first time ever, small businesses now had a megaphone as big or equal to big brands that had big budgets, right? Because used to you had to go to television, radio, billboards, newspaper, direct mail to get your message out. Now you can go direct to the consumer online. That's the second one, access. Now artificial intelligence is coming. Here's what happens. The first time the T-Rex comes into the village, internet, we go, what's that? It eats 3 kids, and we're like, oh no, run, right? The second time the T-Rex comes into the village, we're like, hey, there's the T-Rex again. Grab the kids. We got to get out of here. The third time the T-Rex comes, which is where we're at now, which is AI, as soon as the thing sticks its head through the woods, everybody looks at each other and we're like, run! Like we're like, fuck, here's another wave coming. And so I think what has happened, dude, is we have adopted faster. And what you're seeing with why it's so important to modernize is because you're getting left faster. Meaning that imagine if 80% of internet of insurance offices got internet for 4 years and you were in the 20% that didn't, right? Like what? Think about the disadvantage. This is why I encourage people to use the $200 a month Anthropic, Claude, ChatGPT, Gemini, pick your favorite, but pay for the top level because it's like having high-speed internet for months and months and months ahead of everybody else on dial-up. You can just be so much more efficient. You can get so much more done. People will be working in AI and then they're like, oh, sorry, you're out of messages. And like, okay, shut the computer. I'm like, what are you doing? You're working with the genie. You've made it over the hump. That's the hardest part, right? Is to like actually use AI. Once you get over the hump and you're using it, dude, stay plugged in. Let's keep it moving. Because it's magic, bro. It will be, mark my words, this will be bigger than the internet. This is going to be up there with the Industrial Revolution. Like when we started making machines that can multiply output per man, the same thing is happening with this, but at like a 10th or 20th degree scale.
And it just evolves so fast because it's like the people working on AI are using AI to work on the AI. I mean, it's just like this. Yeah.
It's
Well, and
crazy.
it's crazy. Yeah, I mean, I mean, there's no words for it, and you're actually like really leaning into it, right? Like if you go to your website, all of your stuff is like you're using AI, right, for
Yeah,
the
man.
agency side, and then and you have Allie. What is Allie? Tell me.
So
I mean, you
Allie's our
mentioned a
AI.
little bit about it earlier.
Yeah, Allie's our AI platform. November of 2022, I get onto ChatGPT and Dolly for the first time ever. It gets released to the public. Being in the social media space, which that's all we've ever done, George, just to be super clear, is like for almost 10 years now, all we've done is social media. I still say that we were the first company to get agents onto social media. And I've yet to have anybody show me differently. Um, Almost a decade now, dude, that we've been in the social space. I'm still super bullish on. I still think it's got a long runway to go. But for us, a lot of that is creating content for clients. And so back in November 2022, I went on to Dadali and I was like, hey, man, if AI can generate content, dude, that's a huge expense in my business. Like, let's see what we can do.
Yep.
Like, as it loaded, their faces are melting, their fingers are all jacked up. I was like, okay, it's not there yet, but write this down if you're taking notes. I live by this philosophy. Technology is undefeated. Okay. There was a point in time when everybody thought there were evil spirits in electricity. Okay. And so like nobody wanted to use it. Right. And now it's like, now we're worried about AI. I think technology is undefeated, and I think the power of it, dude, the ability that we're just now seeing, like it's just scratching the surface. November of this year, we're 36 months in. Okay, so we're in the third inning of like a 9 inning baseball game. Okay, like we ain't even got our second hot dog yet, right? Like the beer man's still looking for us. Okay, it's Cracker Jack's not even been opened yet. We're still early. However, the 3 years that we have had, holy shit. If you guys haven't ever seen it, go to Google and type in Will Smith eating spaghetti AI video. You'll see the difference from 2023 to 2025, and it is drastically improved. And so for us, I'm an entrepreneur, dude. I run to the storm, not away from it. I said, we got to go.
Right.
This is the direction. Traditional agencies are going to be screwed. We got to go build a platform. And so we did that, launched it in April of 2024. She does three main things. She's your AI team member. It's not a tool, it's a team member. Allie is your first AI team member. I think in the future, businesses are going to have 3 or 4 humans and 2 or 3 robots, and they'll be able to do the work of a 25-person team. And so Allie is my hedge bet on that. She answers your phones, incoming calls, can basically take down incoming leads, as well as do call routing and basic customer service. So information that should be readily available, she'll answer the call and she'll handle those customer service requests. The second
Wow. Wow.
piece is because she's built in code, she can be installed on a website and identify anonymous website visitors. So about 30% of your website traffic we can track: name, phone number, email address, home address, and the UTM tracking showing where they
Oh
came
my
from.
gosh.
Crazy. And then the third piece is the agency.
Someone
So
can go on you're saying with through this, someone can I think you can't just blow past that one. This is kind of like someone can go on like someone goes on your website, they don't put in any
anything.
information,
Yeah. They don't
they
click, call,
leave,
wave, say hello, drop a chat, nothing. They come in, they look
you
around. Like
and you
97%
know
of
who they
traffic.
are,
Yeah, like
and you know
97%
who
of
they
traffic.
oh
Yeah,
my
they
gosh.
bounce, and we basically reverse append that to their IP address. And sometimes it's like if the internet's in the wife's name, like that's who we'll pull, and it was George that was on there.
Sure.
But what's beautiful about that, because we give the home address, especially for insurance, is like you want to do direct mail, that's who you do direct mail to. Like
Sure.
you do direct mail to the
Yep.
person that was just on your website but didn't call you and didn't fill out a form, right? You don't do 10,000 pieces of direct mail like all across your town and like hopefully somebody calls you, which is what typically happens. But yeah, like all of these tools, man, we built them because like Allie's the agency piece on social media, top of mind awareness drives website traffic. Agents were like, my traffic's not converting. Cool, solve that problem. Let's identify the anonymous the leads. And then when you're calling offices, like I would call an agent that's like, hey, I don't think this is working. I'd call his office at 2 o'clock in the afternoon. Nobody answers the damn phone. And it's like, dude, this stuff's
Yep.
working. Your team's not working. And so that's why we rolled out Alley Voice this year. And we're bootstrapped, man. We've built all of this on the
Wow.
back of being a profitable business. And we take the profits that our customers trust us with and we reinvest it to make it a better service every single year. And I think that's how you win in business. That's how you win long term, is Yeah, like you said earlier, right? Just do what you say you're going to do. It's like, cool, I'm going to do what I'm saying to do. You bring me an additional problem. It's like, hey, DJ, whack-a-mole, you got this guy, but now this one's popping up. It's like, cool, I'm going to go to work and try to solve that problem too.
So you got Allie. We've got a book coming out.
Yeah, man.
And then you have your agency. How can
Yep.
people find you? You got the book right there. Tell me about the book. How can people find you?
Yeah, I kind of slid the vitamins in with the ice cream, if you will. I kind of dropped some knowledge there, but throughout, the old world, I believe it rewarded obedience, and the new world demands killer instincts. Because just doing what you're told is not enough anymore. Because the people that told you to do, they don't know anymore. It's moving too fast, right? And they're going to become hunted. And so for me, man, I think it's about being in the right headspace. I think that's where the proper hunt starts. I literally have been turkey hunting all weekend, and it made me think about this book. Is like, there's a lot of preparation that goes into it. Same thing in business. There's a lot of planning. Same thing in business. There is also the execution. Like, did you follow the plan? Did you go where you said you were going to go? There's so many similarities between business and being a hunter, being an entrepreneurial hunter, as I call it in the book. Super powerful. And I will tell you, it's just, again, me doubling down on the AI bet. This book was a 500-page manuscript. I got it down to 250 pages using using AI, which was ChatGPT and Claude. So the even number chapters are edited by Claude. The odd number chapters are edited by ChatGPT.
Wow.
And it uses at least 80% of my content, meaning that it had to use my words, but then it could fill in, elaborate. And I had it several night sessions, man, where I would like, hey, let's go back to chapter number 3. I want to add a story in. What do you need to know about? Oh, DJ, you're talking about adversity here. Tell me about a time when you overcame adversity. I'm like, all right, cool. How about when I told my cousins I'm not going to sell drugs with them anymore? Okay, let's talk about that. Like, it was cool, man. It was a really cool journey. And so with that, when you buy the book, you get the audio book for free and a custom trained hunter head game AI that is from the book. So when you're like, hey, man, what Coach Carroll say about a perfect morning? It'll pull it right up for you and then go find it in the book. So you guys can get that at thehunterheadgame.com.
Most people would hide that their book was written by AI. You're happy to say that it was.
Yeah.
So
yeah, because it was one of those things, George, where I'm like, all right, I'm in the space. How cool would it be that this book that I've been writing for 10 years, like, what if this is the catalyst that finally gets me to put it out? So I hired a PhD editor. She helped me kind of structure the chapters and the outline. And then we used AI to fill it in. And so it was super powerful. But again, it's my words, my stories. That's why I'm not afraid to hide now. It's like, if I was like, hey, go write me a book about entrepreneurs and how they need to be hunters. And it was like, here it is. Like, okay, cool. Like, I could probably make a 60-page book about this. But like, bro, this is 250 pages, hardcover. Like, we are a luxury brand, as I remind my team oftentimes. And it's like, we want to put out good, solid content. And so I'm proud of that. And if anybody wants to connect with me online, man, it's just Coach Carroll on any of the socials. Just hashtag Coach Carroll, 2 R's, 2 L's.
Well, you've got me thinking about a lot of things. I'm never going to see SEO the same.
Sorry.
And I probably have to have you on again. I mean, I barely hit my questions, but there's so many good things you're talking about. But I just wanted to say thank you so much for taking the time to be on today.
I
really appreciate it.
Yeah, dude, it's been fun. Thank you guys so much. Thank you to your listeners. Listen, if you guys haven't went to George's podcast and hit the like button, the share button, the subscribe button, and left him a review, go do it. It'll help him get it in front of more people and help them out. So you'd be helping me and George both on that front. If you haven't done that, take a minute to go do it. If you found any value whatsoever in this hour-long podcast.
There's that marketer, right? You're playing the algorithm.
I can't turn it off, man. I can't turn it off. I'm sorry.
That's awesome. Thanks again.